I just bought some cryptocurrency while we about to film. I just made a purchase of XRP. So when I become a trillionaire, it's documented because I just spent $700 on something else. Hopefully XRP gonna jump up to 18 grand like Bitcoin does. So yeah, it's at 40 something cent right now. So whoever's watching. But Joe, I wanna just take a second to welcome everyone, ladies and gentlemen. It's episode 4 of the Jex Podcast with none other than me, Michael Jex, and of course my brethren from Portland, the Yard, Gary Cowan. And,
as always.
And what's good, man? How was your weekend, bro? So far, it's Saturday. I mean, here's the crazy part. I say that I don't know what day it'd be half the time. Just being real.
I'm about to say I don't remember, but this is the weekend. Right. I say weekend. So far,
how was that, man?
Sisters in town took my sons to go run around the park, let them burn some energy a little bit, and the mosquitoes attacked us, so we got the hell up out of there, and that was a good 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have probably noticed, or not really, like in the podcasts before, you get some of, Gary's personality. He's always like with the shits all the time, and his sister is just like that. So you mentioned the sisters in town. I called them because we always joke around and we call each other to mention, we always just call each other the bullshit, honestly. And I had some stuff to tell them, some good, just info, some tea. I had some tea to give him, and I was like, "Yo, who's in the car with you?" And he was like, "Oh, no, just Diane." I was like, "Oh, no, I can't tell you. I got to call you later." Diane was like, "Oh, no, it's okay, no, you can go." I'm like, "Damn, the asshole running the family." And that's what it is.
Inherited from Mom Dukes. Hustler on 1,000.
Your mom is hilarious, and I see where you get it from because mom's is definitely funny. If y'all don't know, matter of fact, let's give mom some followers. What's your mom's Instagram? You're gonna have her. So if you follow his mom, you're gonna buy COVID mask. You're gonna buy some sea moss.
And she's a keto guru.
Yeah, and she's a keto queen. Excuse me. But yeah, so what's her?
It's Wendy Scott Cowan. It's her full name.
Wendy Scott Cowan. We're gonna have some people go follow Wendy Scott because.
Well, actually, that's crazy because now everybody that follows her, they follow her just to see little embarrassing pictures of me.
Oh, without question. So if you want to
see
some
don't
embarrassing pictures of Wendy Scott,
don't do that.
Right, on Instagram, or it's Wendy _Scott. But you'll find it. Just go through his Instagram, and when you find something like Wendy Scott, just follow him. You'll see all the pictures of Gary when he just came off the boat to Jamaica in his in his corduroy
fresh
pants.
off the boat, fresh out of Flatbush, fresh off everything. My mom got all the heat on me.
So one of the things I think would be cool to talk about today. So I called him, and like I said, we always talking about stuff. But one of the things that I think I encountered in some conversations over the last couple of days was not to go into detail, which I won't go into detail about some of these conversations, but I found like a common denominator that I think a lot of people go through. So I called Gary to ask him, like, "Yo, what you think about this topic right here?" And one of the things that we spoke about, was the effects of like how having an ego could really hold you back. And obviously, if you're hearing that right now, you can maybe at like first listen, you say, yeah, of course. But like if you really think deep about it, man, there's so many different ways how your ego can hold you back from, moving forward or maybe getting some type of result that you want in your life in so many different ways. One of the ways that kind of popped up recently in the conversation was how, you can have a situation in your life that you don't necessarily like. Right? And I always say this, if there's something going on in your life and you don't like it, the last individual you need to be having a conversation with to get out of that situation is you. Because that's what we do. Like we'll be going through some shit and we don't want to go and get no advice from anybody. Like that's the thing. We want to, He-Man, superhero it, to find results, on our own. But the truth of the matter is, if you had the answers for your problems, you wouldn't have a problem.
You wouldn't have gotten the problem in the first fucking place.
So what holds you back from getting the advice that you need to push through? Your ego, your ego. You're like saying to yourself, you know what, I don't want to necessarily have conversations with anyone due to the fact that, I'm scared of what they may think. So I'm going to hold it in. I'm going to, not go seek help. Or let's look at it from another standpoint. If we say, you know, if you're going through something and you need help, let's say you need to get professional help, you know, with whatever. Let's say you're an alcoholic, or, you know, let's say you have been traumatized as a child, whatever the case may be. And your ego would be like, nah, I ain't talking to nobody. I ain't trying to tell nobody that, because what are they going to think about me? And it's crazy, because if you don't find a way to like suppress that ego in some way, shape, or form, you're always going to have that problem. Like, you're always going to have the problem. And I know you're about to say something.
When you say ego, the first thing that pops in my mind is some kind of like a tough attitude. It comes off with like I don't know, like an aggressive kind of. Because you think about somebody being hard-headed, somebody kind of, you know, being for self. But I think ego also comes with insecurity,
right?
Selfishness. Is that even a fucking word? Selfishness? I threw the nuts on there. It's cool. We figure it out. We Google that later.
Yeah, we'll Google that. We have that right now.
High school. That's as far as you need to go.
Hey, Elon Musk I just read a post right now. Elon Musk just said he don't even care if you finish high school to go work for him in Tesla. So
high school was a bid, boy. That shit was like jail. But so you got so it comes. It's a lot of that surrounds that word. So if I could go back and think, when has my ego stopped me or whatever? It's so many different times that shit just like kicks in.
Yeah.
Where I remember.
Give me an example.
Well, younger, it was a lot of insecurities, you know what I'm saying, or being afraid of rejection, what people think, opinions and stuff like that. So again, as you go and talk about people caring, and we spoke about this on the last podcast, people following and caring about what other people say.
Right.
What was it? External validation.
Right.
That also, that also, having that there can trigger my ego now to say, you know what, I'm going to respond this way, I'm going to act this way so that nobody can harm me because I'm insecure, or I'm gonna be selfish now and be in my own space because I don't want nobody to talk.
I want an example. Give me a story.
Oh, shit.
Give me like one story. Like you had a situation where your ego was like, nah, I ain't doing this.
Where my ego was like that.
I'll start with mine. You know, one of my things, right, that, you know, my ego, I would say, you know, fucked me up with, was that I knew I should not be cutting school. Like, I knew it. I need to be in school all day. I knew it. But the fact that I had some jackass friends around, my ego wouldn't allow me to say, my ego made me say, nah, I got to be around them because I care about what they think. You know? So, bro, it was in my whole being. It was like, nah, bro, stay after third period. Third period was attendance. Stay after third period. You need to stay here. And then I would get, you know, no joke, like one of my men's Butter, his name was Omar. But, you know,
anybody named Butter's cutting school, bro.
Bruh, like
sliding out.
You know, Butter, if you watch it, shout out, man, to you. He live in Philly now. That was like I'm gonna blame him, man. Yo, but it's your fault. I started cutting school, man. Like I saw
got somebody to blame for that too.
You know, but for real, after third period, like here was a routine. Fourth period was French class. I hated foreign language. Like, I just never liked it. I don't even know how I graduated high school because I never went through any foreign language class whatsoever. But anyway, fourth period was French class, and I would literally go into class. I would sit down at the first chair by the door, lay my head on my desk like this, just waiting to see Butter to knock on the window so I could leave class. That was my thing. I wanted to rest. I was, you know, walking around bullshitting after third. Go into, you know, sit down in French class, see him knock on the window. All right, cool, I'm out. And the teacher kind of would already get like, all right, fuck it. You know what's crazy? I think about it. I passed. I think she probably just like, this is the least I could do for this idiot right here. I don't know where he gonna go in his life. So let me just give him this 65 and make him go along his way. But again, it was my ego saying, go follow him, you know, because Lord knows I knew I shouldn't have been doing that shit. But because of me doing that, right, my ego wanted to be cool, be down with the cool crowd in school, right? I had to spend an extra year in high school. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit, you too?
What? Yeah, I spent a whole full extra year. But check this out. See, I had to.
You're not real if you're not doing more than 4.
If you do 4, or if you only do 4, you're a square, bro. Like you only do 4, you're a square. 4 years, all by the way too. Like we got a lot of like Floridians in the house. That's all. They no school. They go to school. They come home and they drive their cars and shit. I know y'all had cars in high school and shit. We ain't had none of that in New York. We had a train. You know what I'm saying? So the train gave us access to go do dumb shit, like go to the city. And do a bunch of stuff, which I got a funny story with that too. But yeah, like my ego helped. That's the reason why I stayed an extra year. So I went to school in Manhattan to finish. Check this out. Let me tell y'all some craziness, okay? You want to be successful? Like, I understand why Elon Musk could care about a high school diploma. All right. So in New York, to graduate high school, I don't know if it's still like that now, but you need 40 credits to graduate. I was like that when we graduated. We needed 40 credits
and only a 65 average. I know that because that's what I have.
So I probably had it around the same. 40. You need 40 credits to graduate from high school. 4 years of high school, 10 credits per year. Right? I got to what would have been my senior year of high school. This is a true story with 11 credits. So 3 years, I just wowed out. I didn't give a fuck about school. 3 years? I hated school. But check this out. And I made up 30. I finished with 42 credits. So I went with 31 extra credits I did in 1 year.
You did summer school, night school?
I didn't do no summer school. Did no summer school. I did it. I did extra classes because I went to another school for like assholes like me.
Yeah, alternative school. That's me.
So I had to
there.
catch up. So I had to do extra classes. I didn't do night school. I actually did do summer school though. I had to do summer school, but I had to catch up in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? And then I finagled. I had to negotiate my way to get like 2 final credits to cross over. But I had to literally put myself through misery for a year just so I can graduate, high school. But if I didn't have this, big ego of like, I need to be accepted by idiots who, excuse me, brother, you're not an idiot. You said my man. I love following folks that I shouldn't have been doing necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like it just makes. It makes you think, what's some of the things you could have done differently if you didn't let your ego take, the ride. But let me hear some of your high school stories. Outside of getting your arm broke by getting hit by a bus.
I got hit by a bus. I got a bunch of, shit.
Talk about that. Let's talk about that.
You mean the bus?
Yeah.
All right, so cutting school. I didn't really cut school.
I know I always ask you to tell a story because it's funny as hell.
Yeah, I didn't.
And then you got to follow with your dad, too, what he did to you.
I didn't cut school. I just stopped going. I was so good at it.
You hear that, Wendy? Wendy, this your son right here. I know she gonna watch this too.
Nah, because here's what happened. I found, and I can't say my friend's name because my mom gonna go after him. But a friend, I was in a specialized art school. Yeah. Specialized art school, and one day they was like, "Yo, we gonna go and watch like a movie, something like those." That's when they used to give like the scening, what they call them, screenings. Okay. So we're like, all right, we're gonna leave. Now I've never cut school, so I'm sweating. I'm nervous as shit. Mm-hmm. And it was, I'm like, how the hell we gonna do this?
So you got hit by this bus the first time you ever cut school?
No. I'm starting about where the habit started. Then I'm gonna lead into the bus.
Gotcha.
Actually, I got hit by the bus before high school. So yeah, damn, I started cutting school from junior high school. But here's what happened, man. I don't like waking up early. I don't like waking up early, so I'm always late. And then because I didn't want to get picked up by the police, I just don't go to school. Mm-hmm. By that time, my mom's at work. I come home before she don't know if I'm at school or not. Right. And same thing with my mom's. Man, Killer Instinct came out, a video game. What was that, Super Nintendo?
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct came out, bro.
I think it was Super Nintendo. No, that was on Genesis, I think.
And it was Super Nintendo. I think Killer Instinct came out, and my homeboy had the game. Mm-hmm. And he lived right on I lived on Parkside. He lived on across the street on Parkside.
Hold on, wait, Paul. Don't forget your story. You're about it because I used to cut school with Butter. He had cable. I ain't have cable. So all the new videos would drop. I'm like,
gotta
going over there.
Gotta go there. You gotta go somewhere because you can't be in the street.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cut. It wasn't even a cut no more. Routine. We're gonna go play some Super Nintendo. My homeboy didn't cut that day. I'm like, fuck, I just stay home for no reason. Mm-hmm. I said, all right, let me just go get some McDonald's. I literally lived across the street from McDonald's, Ocean and Parkside. Across the street. Go get my McDonald's. Now, if you notice McDonald's, they have a front entrance and a side entrance. And the bus pulls up on the side entrance. Across the street, get my food. Walking out the side entrance. And back then, McDonald's fries, bro, was so legendary, I just started eating them on the way out the store, not realizing I stepped off the sidewalk where the bus pulls up. Bus smacks me right in the middle of a big ass intersection of Parkside and Ocean. And some of y'all probably think, oh shit, what happened? I got my ass up and ran the fuck home because I did not want to get an ass whooping from my pops. I just didn't. Like, the ass whooping to me was more dangerous than getting hit by the bus. So I got up, ran home, and I just tried to sleep it off because my heart was pumping. I was like, yeah, I got to just go home. So I'm there, sleeping it off. I wake up the next day, and for some reason, I just couldn't move my arm. My shit was just like stuck like that. And I'm a lefty, so now I'm home the weekend. I'm trying to go get snacks and move around my parents. But then my father got that eye. He's just always watching, so I go and reach for some snacks to open this cupboard up. And he's like, well, you all right? Why you keep reaching? I'm like, no, I'm good. Just playing a little football. And he said, all right, just come let me see. And he pulls my arm, and my shit just snaps back like, whap, like elastic band. I was like... He's like, damn, what happened? I was like, nah, just playing. So I never told him. I think I told my moms when I was like around in my 30s.
Right.
I had told her recently.
Wow.
But I never told him. I didn't want to get no ass whooping from cutting. Because here's what happened. Any West Indian tell you, after you get hit by the bus, you're going to get an ass whooping when you get home.
Without question.
For a fact. So it's like, nah, you're not going to double up on me like that.
Yeah, without question.
So, but so many stupid things happen from cutting school, being around people that stole shit for no reason, just because I didn't want to be the soft dude that when everybody said they was about to go boof something from the store, I went home. So I'm like, nah, I'm down for it. Yeah, we gonna go and steal shit. Like, I'm coming.
Right.
And so my ego got me into so much trouble just in terms of stuff like that. But even as an adult, man, it's been a lot of times where sometimes as an adult you think you got it figured out, and you don't want other people to see you ain't got it figured out. And you can go and take open advice and mentorship, but that shit kind of comes off as accountability. Where it's like, I don't want to tell nobody my problems because I don't want people to look at me a certain way. But I also don't want to put myself out there that I'm having issues too. And you kind of keep everything to yourself, and that shit just digs you in a deeper hole. So
yeah, there's a lot of situations that we could like use as examples for that too. Because like, as you said, as we get older, like, you know, that ego don't go nowhere unless you address it, you know, in certain ways. And I think obviously, you know, you're always gonna have some form of the ego, you know, popping up. Showing.
Funny thing, here's what me and Mike met at Foot Locker. I heard that story already. At Foot Locker, at some point being there too long, I just felt like I was getting older, and I'm still at a Foot Locker. No disrespect to the people that's growing and working there. I just was like, yo, everybody that's coming in.
That's still there.
Yeah, 20 years now, they probably still.
Yes.
And it's just this thing where it's like every new person that get hired is straight out of high school. So it's like, yo, what the hell am I doing here? And I went on like a breakdown, bro. First time tears. I'm in my mom's basement like, yo, I cannot believe I'm pushing this age. This is before, because this is before. But it just got to that point. Yo, it just got to that point where I'm like, yo, you know when you young, you see yourself at 25, I'm going to be doing this.
Yeah.
And you see yourself at 30. And then as time clock start catching up, you like, yo, what the fuck am I still doing here?
Right.
And I could have said something because, you know, times like that, people felt like I was making the money I wanted. I was shopping. You know, we spent all our checks on gear. So it looked like shit was on the outside.
Even that's really, you know, that you know, decision, those actions are driven by ego.
By ego, yeah. I'll have to have the cleanest kicks on the sales floor. You're not gonna catch me in no dingy shoes, and I sell sneakers.
Even down to when we used to go to break, like no joke. So we worked. You said we worked at the Foot Locker on 34th Street in Herald Square. The basement of Macy's across the street had like a food court. I don't know if it's still like that now, right? And the food court was called like Cucina or something like. Or one of the restaurants called Cucina. My check every week was like $150, and every time I worked, I spent a dub on fucking lunch just because I'm like, I would get to the lunchroom and I'm like, niggas ain't gonna see me eating no McDonald's, eating fucking baked chicken and mashed potatoes for this $20. That's stupid shit that we used to do. But go ahead.
And yeah, I was in that I had that moment when I was like, yo, this can't be my life, and I could have said something sooner. But it had to get that bad before I reached out and I was telling people how I really felt. And thank God I did that, because then that ended up leading me to work with my dad for like the summer, doing some construction for a little bit. With that experience also led me to working I was at a call center 311, met somebody there and led me to Con Ed. Because of that construction experience I got. So it kind of opened up my mouth and kind of letting it out. letting people know I had a fucking issue and not holding it in, it kind of opened a lot of doors for me.
So let's talk about like how, if any, right? Like how if there was like any ego that played a role in your decision making in doing network marketing at first.
I wouldn't say so, because I remember when you first.
So
I wouldn't say no decision, because I remember when you showed. I think I was just ignorant to what network marketing was. I didn't even know what it was at all.
I honestly really believed you that you ain't like. I just knew you. You ain't
yeah,
like
I don't. Still don't like it.
I remember like the whole thing. You just that's all you saw. You ain't see a business opportunity. And I was like, yo, I gotta fly.
I was like, it wasn't no ego at all. Not knowing what the possibilities were for me, I just saw like, shit, I gotta get on a plane, bro. You wildin'.
Right.
But then I think seeing it again the year after, it still was no ego because I was new to social media, so I didn't really see anything happening. I think for me it was just, I was just tired of being the nigga that lived in a condo, had a BMW, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. Like it just looked good on the outside, but after a while I was like,
some gotta give.
Yeah, you go and drive and you asking your boys, so you got 5 on this? You got 5 on the tank?
Yeah, every time you go out, right? That was a thing, and
that damn fucking what's this called, that light, you know, that light in the BMW, the maintenance light go off, and you got a boom. When you get that boom, your heart beat fast because you're like, oh shit. Drive a BMW, you can't afford to fix it. So it's just things like that.
You start searching through your paperwork, like, yo, did my warranty run? Like, shit, is it at past 40,000 miles? Like, you know, you start thinking about all this shit,
right?
You know, because you know you're making these decisions that you probably know from jump that you shouldn't have made, right? But why, right? Because you want to look.
So after a while, I think reality started to strike me as an adult, and I realized why the hell I have an ego. You know what I'm saying? But
you know what's funny, when it came to business, I like, even to this day, like I don't know what it was. I can't really give credit to any one thing, but I never really had it. I always give this example, like in the movie with what was it, Wolf of Wall Street, right? With the scene where Leonardo DiCaprio, he's inside the diner, and damn, I forgot homeboy's name, but his character in the movie had the big teeth. Became like one of his best friends, and he walked up and he was like, how much you made last month? Right. And he was eating, and he was like, 75,000. He was like, show me a paycheck of 75,000, I quit my job right now. He went inside his pocket, showed him the check. Next scene, he walked outside. Hey Larry, yeah, look, yeah, I fucking quit. Like, let me tell you something. That is me. Like, from day one, I was always that dude. You know what I'm saying? I remember, I don't know if I should say this. All right, there was a time where I made a couple dollars selling some things I shouldn't have in school when I was in high school. And just leave it at that. And there was the thing, because I saw the profit margin from it. I was like, yo, you buying it for what? Mm-hmm. I already know everybody in my school. I'm in. Like, right. There was no questions asked. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in on that. And then when it came to network marketing, it was the same thing. I was broke as fuck, like living off of my unemployment check. I remember that was like an era where all my people had, look, that's a multi-millionaire calling me right now. Let me pause this. Edwin Haynes, if you ever watch this, I'll call you right back, okay? But yeah, so I remember I was broke.
G, you pick it up right now.
Huh?
None of this shit.
You said what?
I said pick it up.
All right, hold on one second. Let me see. Don't you can't do that, man. Mr. Haynes, how you feeling, man? No, it's all good, man. I'm actually shooting my podcast. I'm in the middle of it right now. So whenever you see whenever you see episode 4, you'll know that this was you that called me, and I'm filming right now. And
you on live? Say
so
something.
You're live right now. And I wanted to make sure it was recorded that Edwin Haynes, who called me during my podcast, this is documented. All right.
All right, man. You guys have a good show. Man.
Hey, thank you. And I know you're in Mississippi tonight, right?
Yeah, I just wrapped up. So
you just finished. Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir. So I'll hit you up later, and we'll talk. All right.
Okay, bye.
So,
that's one of my millionaire friends to call me. Hold on.
So I remember when, like I said, I was broke. I'm talking about literally, like when I saw this information, living off my unemployment check, I was like, yo, but I always had a car. So I was like, all right, we going somewhere. I need that. You need to send that dub. We going anywhere. We need to send.
Was that when you had the Lexus?
At the time I had a Black Infinity.
You had the Infinity.
Yeah. Now I had a couple dollars when I went and got
before they
the
wrap your shit at the garage. That's when.
Yo, we can get into that. Yeah, I had a parking garage incident with my Infinity when I had an M35. Parked my garage at a parking lot in it was like off of 33rd Street and like right around the Herald Square area. I went downstairs and my shit was totaled. The parking agents wrecked my fucking car. Like, yeah, but anyway, so during that time I was broke and I wanted to figure, and I knew, like I already knew, like I've been asking God for a while, like I need to do something different. If you're listening and you've ever been, that person to not like to work for anybody, I know how you feel. Like, if my mother tell me to go like wash the dishes or take the garbage out as a child, I didn't like that shit. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't tell me what to do. If they told me to do that, anybody, my pops tell me something, I had to pause and wait 3 seconds and be like, I'm gonna go on my time. Even though they asked me, I'm gonna go because they didn't say to go in 5 seconds. I just went in 5 seconds. I don't know why.
What y'all call you? What's the dude on Major Hype be acting? Timothy? Y'all call you? The character Timothy?
Yeah.
Fuck, Ma. I'm not doing it.
I was all right. Yeah, kind of. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit like that. And I had respect for my mom. I just had to do it on my time. Like, I wanted to do it on my time. Still like that today. But yeah, like I said, I was broke. And when it came to business, like somebody hit me up. It was like, yo, I'm doing, he didn't say this network marketing company, but that's what it was. Here's what I'm doing. Check out this website. It was like 5 a.m, leaving the music studio. And I get home and I'm like, this shit look dope. Mm-hmm. I don't know what this is, but this looks fire. And called them up the next day and I was like, yo, I think I want to do this. Now, mind you, I knew I didn't even have the money to do it then. And he just told me, he's like, yo, come meet me in the city tomorrow. I'm going to introduce you to somebody who's like been making it work. They going to show me how to do this? Oh, I'm in. Even that right there, like that little part right there, you know how many people, they could be on their ass financially, mm-hmm. but because it sounds like something that doesn't necessarily fully resonate with them, they'll stop like the whole mental process of like saying, oh, man, let me try this. All right. Just dead it right there. Versus, for me, I was like, oh yeah, I'll talk to you. Like, let's see how this goes. Went and spoke to him, and the rest was history. I got in a couple days later using my unemployment check. You know what I'm saying? And went ahead and radically changed my life. But you know how many people won't do that shit because of their ego. I did.
My fucking pops belt had my ego in check. My pops was like Pootie Tang. You think wrong, do something, belt come out of nowhere.
But think about this. Look, from a business standpoint, you know how many people right now? Man, I'm still tired right now from all the shit I did yesterday from a presentation standpoint. Like, in our business, we show presentations. I showed a bunch of them yesterday. And one of them was for a group from where? Brooklyn. I'm on Zoom. And that's why I be wishing that Zoom shit is going to be, I ain't doing that shit. I'm going to be in front of the rooms. But I'm doing this Zoom, really dope girl who just got started. She's a teacher. Definitely got some influence too. She put some of her people on, and they all from where we came from, and they actually around our age too. So now we're in our mid-30s, so that means that like the ignorantness has been seasoned mm-hmm. for a while. It's been baking in the oven, so they're way less susceptible to like be open to something like this. So I'm doing a presentation, and I can see the Zoom cameras, I see little faces going by, and before the presentation, I kind of was like going around like, so what y'all do? Like mechanic, teacher, fire department, police. I'm like. And as I'm going through the presentation, I'm like, the fucking audacity of you niggas laughing or giggling or smiling at what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you understand like what your paycheck is in a month is a fucking bad week for me? And I'm not saying that to boast, but why I'm saying that is because their ego will not allow them to receive the information that will probably go help change their life. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care who you are. I would never stick my nose up in the air. For what someone does as a job occupation choice. It doesn't matter what it is, you know what I'm saying? But, it's just crazy, the audacity of some people who think that because it seems foreign to them, it's beneath them.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So you think you step yours up when they got theirs in front of them?
Oh, my ego goes through the roof when they got theirs. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, it goes up. But you can't, that it goes up internally. Mm-hmm. I won't show it. I won't like say these things to them because here's another thing too. Doing this for a while, we understand those individuals that I am talking about. They don't know.
Right.
They don't know. You know what I'm saying? We was with Holton the other day, and he starts off with his talks, and if you don't know Holton Bugs, go Google him, man. He's the truth. And he starts off his talks, and he's like, most people make financial choices because of, their board of advisors. Like, who's your board of advisors? The people that you talk to the most.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The people that you're speaking to the most, spending time with the most, whatever they think and whatever they're doing, more likely than not will have an influence on what decisions you'll have. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, if someone is just using a New York City bus driver, more likely than not, his board or her board of advisors are other city bus drivers, right? Mm-hmm. So what does a city bus driver make? I don't know. Let's say $70,000 a year. I don't know what it is. I'm not knocking the number. I'm making a point. What I'm saying is when someone comes to them and say, okay, I'm going to show you how to do something where you can max out making $250,000 a week, their mind immediately goes to shutdown mode. I don't know anyone who's doing this. And if I have heard of something like this, sounded like some bullshit, so I don't necessarily want to even be open enough to possibly maybe take a chance in this. There goes it's done. Why? Because all of the conversations between their board of advisors has been, what are we doing this weekend?
I feel like
you fix your transmission in your car last week. Those are the fucking conversations that people are having.
Right now, I see there's like a big war of egos between entrepreneurship and employees. Or job, working 9 to 5 and being an entrepreneur. So? Yeah. It's like a big argument where it's kind of like, the entrepreneurs are kind of letting people know, yo, be an entrepreneur. Like it'll solve your problems. And the 9 to 5 people were like, oh, you shaming jobs type of shit. I feel like that's a big war out there. Because every time you see a post about something that has, like I was literally on Shade Room just a little while ago. Mm-hmm. And this post popped up. Now, I want to say what it said, but basically it says if you have like a salary, that's the price they pay you, so you won't go and chase your dreams, some shit like that. And people was in the comments pissed.
Okay, so let's play devil's advocate.
I gotta hear it. Your salary is the bribe they give you to forget your dreams.
That's funny. but let's play devil's
advocate. Niggas is tight. Everybody tight in the comments. So I feel like with that, obviously, not everybody cares to be an entrepreneur, and everybody wants to. But I think the why it bothers, or why I say the choice of entrepreneurship just kind of makes sense for most people, because most of the people that you say in the workforce are complaining about being there. Mm-hmm. The moment you're complaining about it, then it's kind of like then you do something. But you have people that don't want to they're not complaining about it, they love it, they whatever. And if that's the case, then that won't. I would say that post won't pertain to you.
Right.
But they still mad because all these entrepreneurs now out here pushing. You got to be an entrepreneur.
But that's what I say. So let's play devil's advocate. Let's play the other side of the fence now. How would you feel if you work a 9 to 5 regular job and you see people being obnoxious to them about having a 9 to 5 or a regular job? How would you feel? Of course, you would probably feel like, wait a minute, hold on. Then your ego kicks into it. It's like, wait a minute. Like,
I'm gonna defend what I'm doing.
Yeah, this is helping me pay my rent, pay my mortgage, pay my cell phone bill, pay my kids' tuition. So fuck you and your entrepreneurship, because you popping shit about what I'm doing, and I can understand that too. So I also think like, if you are an entrepreneur, you're trying to like share an idea with somebody, you got to have some sort of empathy, on, people's, you got to understand, like,
But in our defense, they do that about network marketing.
Because they don't know any better. Like, that's the thing, they don't know. Again, like, they have no idea. Like, all they know is, listen, my mom worked hard. I saw her work hard. Therefore, I think that that's what I have to do in order to be successful. I'm going to teach y'all something too. Something about real quick, like, your paradigms. Your paradigms is like, pretty much what controls your whole life. And all it is accumulation of ideas that helps you, form like who you are in a sense, to make it very short. It's a deep conversation. But if you ever notice, here's an example of a paradigm. Most people, if you take a look at your mom, you look at your dad, most people will become an adult and make just a little bit more than they did. Because the benchmark was what they saw. The accumulation of ideas that created this program in their mind of who they wanted to be for, they were around, living under their parents' roof for, let's say, 20 years was just what they saw. And, now they're like, okay, cool, I got to do a little bit better than that. Then I made it.
Right.
And I'm not even saying that that's bad. I'm just really saying that you got to be aware that that's what's going on. So, like, for example, the people that you're saying that would be in a situation that they don't like their job, they complain about the shit all the time, but then pop shit about other things, it's not even their fault because that's the programming that's been, literally just fed to them their whole life. And until, certain things may happen to rupture that like idea and be like, oh shit, you know what? Damn, I think I might have to make
a change, right?
Yeah, I might have to do something different. I might have to like just think about this whole, idea of possibly just doing something else serious, because, and it always takes some crazy ass shit to like make somebody change their mind. I think for me, right? Well, let me rephrase. I never had that because I always wanted to kind of have a different.
For me, it was. I always said the worst thing that could happen to you is the best thing. So, I had got laid off. Summer, I'm at my summer barbecue. My shit was lit, bro. 4th of July.
That was a fact. Pops used to be in the backyard cooking soup on like some rocks.
Yeah, man. The goldhead soup, conch soup. We got everything. And we used to do it every single year. And at this 4th of July barbecue, 2012, with some coworkers that I was with, we get a phone call saying, don't report to work. Report to your strike or whatever site. And we like, damn, you can't. They can't go without the lights. We be back in 2-3 days, so it felt like a good weekend off, a good week vacation. That shit lasted almost 2 months. Worst shit that ever happened to me, in terms of I was the person that had all my eggs in one basket. Ain't nobody talk about multiple streams. You just really trying to find a career at that point and move up the ladder in that career, and everything comes to a halt. I'm at home playing Call of Duty, depressed, not want to leave the house because you spend money you ain't got. My lady at the time, who's my wife now, is working, holding it down at a job that stressed her out. And everybody's just kind of stressed out. I'm a laborer. My father was laid off. So everything I felt like was kind of like just crumbling slowly. And worst time, but then, you came to me. And I was like, you know what? On unemployment, I was like, yo, when I get back my first check, man, I'm in this thing. And that's what I made my decision with. So I think if that didn't happen, though, my mind would have probably never been open to saying I needed something.
Right.
So sometimes you got to get shed from all the shit that keeps you having that ego. Cool, I had a nice car now, but I don't know how the fuck I'm going to pay for it. I got this condo now, but who the hell is going to pay the rent, right? So it's kind of like, all right, now that all that is escaped, Gary, what you going to do? Because either people going to see you lose everything, and that's going to make you more depressed, or you do some shit to change it. So, but that's when the ego goes out the window for me. Cause like
when you're on your ass.
When you're on your ass, you're like, fuck it.
Your back is against the wall.
Cause now you gotta look yourself in the mirror. People ain't there to help you pay them bills. So, in that term, that's when I realized that I don't care what nobody thinks. Cause when I'm here looking for somebody to help me put gas in the car, ain't nobody offer nothing, I'm gonna push forward and fuck what everybody thinks and keep going. So that's where I was like, all right, now I'm gonna move forward. But everything had to be stripped from me emotionally, physically, for me to say, all right, cool. I had to actually move back at home to help my mom because my dad was also laid off. So here I got to let my condo go now. I got the BMW parked up because I can't put no gas in. I had a nice little hybrid, $20 a month. I was hyped. I loved that hybrid after a while.
I got that hybrid too because
that shit was fire. But things started to change. And I say at that point, it worked out for the best though. Worked out for the best. So ego can hold you back, but if you get that shit out of here sometimes, it can definitely catapult you forward. And sometimes we do stupid shit and need to have an ego to say, you know what, I shouldn't be doing stupid shit like this. Like I said, in our childhood, the ego, instead of saying, yo, I'm better than this, made us do the stupid shit that we were supposed to be doing.
Right.
So it can help you in some ways, I feel like, but most of the time, the ego is just kind of fueled by other people's opinions and validation and all that kind of shit.
I'm looking at Dion's shirt right now. It say Magic City, and it makes me think about the egos that had to be suppressed 2 nights ago at the Versus. Like, think about that shit. So, if, whatever days you guys end up watching this, a couple nights ago, 2 nights ago, we had the Versus with Young Jeezy and Gucci. And, man, I didn't see it in real time. I had to do something, but I watched a lot of the replay. Yo.
He's talking crazy.
At the beginning, I mean, Dion, like, when I was it looked like you could cut the tension, like, with a knife. You know what I'm saying?
That's not even ego. That shit got a body on it, bro.
Yeah, but even that though, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure for Gucci, like, it's not an ego thing for him, but in a way it is for him to say, "Yo, I'm gonna do this," because he had all right to be like, "Nah, fuck this."
Yeah, I mean the platform
You know what I'm saying?
big enough for you to try to take advantage of it.
For sure, but I'm saying that decision, that there was definitely some ego, because he could have.
How dare you put me in a room with this man?
What? Like, you serious? I don't care what bag it is.
You watch the whole thing, but he tells him, he's like, "Nigga, I only agreed to do this shit if I could play truth right in front of you and diss you in front of everybody."
Right.
And then Jeezy had to suppress his ego too. Jeezy had to suppress that.
Really.
I mean, yeah, for sure he had to. You know what I'm saying? In some way he had to, because he's allowing somebody else to play some shit that didn't.
That to me, like, just knowing the history and growing up with that, like, Jeezy's like, in the room sitting there and supposedly sent little homies to go and kill you.
For sure.
And now I'm right across from you. So Jeezy don't have nothing to lose.
Nah, but
Gucci
there's
succumbing
still
to, nigga, I'm supposed to kill you on sight.
Nah, everything you're saying is correct. But what I'm saying is there's still wild ego that needs to be suppressed on both sides without question. In terms of keeping
you trying to violate
like, just knowing the like Gucci is the one that had the most to suppress.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, yeah, for sure. Like, he definitely did, and I commend him is what I'm saying. Like, I'm giving him props. Like,
you got anybody, if you see them as on site this day being a grown man?
Not no more. Nah, but before, yeah, without question, not no more. I don't got that. You know, I think honestly, like, not even trying to sound like philosophical or anything like that, but for real, life is just too short, bro. Like, you know, I just think I think, you know, harboring energy is the real thing. You know, I think that should hurt you more than anything else. You know, maintaining some sort of like anger and shit towards people. I don't really know. I mean, I don't have to fuck with everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, I can just keep it moving in the sense. But if there's anybody that I would say, you know, I see him as on site, it was at one point without question. No, I don't. Were you?
100%.
I think I know who one of them is.
Probably only one.
I think I know who that is too.
On site. Fuck. So, hey man, there's not enough books, man. It's not enough books.
Yo, let's learn from Gucci, man. Learn from Gucci, man.
I think the hardest thing is not just to even see somebody is and say, oh shit, because yeah, you could be you've mended relationships and stuff like that, but it's when you finally see that person how crazy they start talking to bring all that shit back up. It's
but that brings up a whole different scenario now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if somebody start getting out of their face and, you know, decisions gonna have to be made, you know, then the question is, I ain't pussy.
Or if the last time you spoke to somebody, it was wild like that. Yo, if I see you and you just never see them, and then you finally bump into them. On site, son. I'm just saying, put that out there.
I think I know that mistake.
Moving on. Everybody's got that one person.
Gucci is everybody's supposed to dead their beefs now.
Right.
Oh shit.
The streets is super done now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you gotta follow your elders. You gotta.
I know for a fact, like that shit's so old. I probably will never see that person again. But
so the one that I'm thinking is not necessarily that old.
It's like, not that old, but to me, things have changed and progressed for me so much. It's like that's you know what I'm saying? Like maybe back in the day you'll really be bothered by some shit like that, but now it doesn't really bother me. But at that time, son, it was definitely on site. But I mean, everybody got beef that we kind of let go at some point. So I don't have an ego in that way.
Yeah,
I just don't like to be violated. Like, yeah, we can hash things out. My ego not to the point where I got to prove something to you, but you just can't violate me.
What's a violation?
A lot of forms of disrespect, man. It's just, I don't need a person to respect me, but disrespect is a whole different ball game.
Mm-hmm. I ain't talking to. I need some sort of specific. I need. You don't gotta say the story. You don't gotta say no names, but I need like a specific.
I'm trying to think of scenarios where I felt, because I'm a very calm person, and it takes a lot to get me there, but once I'm there, it's no turning back. Mm-hmm. So I remember I was with my mom actually. I think it was Christmas holiday shopping, and we going to Roosevelt Field Mall, and the mall is wild to the point where there's traffic finding a parking spot, and every time somebody pull out, somebody pulls in. So it's me and my mom, my sister, and a friend of mine's in the back, and a parking spot opens up in front of me. And this lady with like a cane just walks out and stands in front of the spot. So I'm like, man, what are you doing? She's like, oh, you know, I'm trying to hold the spot. But I'm like, yo, there's hundreds of people. You coming from like way in the back to hold a spot. You can't do that. And at the same time, I'm like, I would give her the spot because she literally has a cane. Mm-hmm. So her son pulls up in a car, takes the spot, mad tough. Like, yeah, this is ours, da. So I'm like, mind you, it wasn't even, it was his homeboy in the backseat that started wilding. Fuck you doing, da. So I'm like, oh shit. My shit went from 0 to 1,000 quick. And at this point now, again, not a person to egg on anything, but at that point, I just had to fight somebody. Like, it just had somebody had to get hit. My mom comes out.
You had to get it out. You had to get the steam out.
I had to get it out, man. I'm cold. I took my coat off, and now I'm like, yo, you just got to get out the car. All I want you to do is get out the car. Just please get out the car. Right. Just get out the car. And my mom comes out the car.
Oh my God.
And my sister's like, get him. You know, my sister's the window rolled down. Ma, get him. So my mom comes out the car. And instead of separating the situation, my mom start wilding on his mom. Y'all big man, y'all this agwan, and start wilding like my mom. So now it's me and my mom out there. Shit backfired. And my sister tight, but I just at that point it was just like I just felt very violated from the homeboy that was in the car, and I was like, listen, I'll do some time for this one.
Oh my gosh!
It just I don't know. It just gets, but that rarely happens to me though. It really happens because I'm usually in control of my emotions, but feeling violated like that, I don't know.
I remember I had a couple.
If y'all want to know how that ended,
yeah, how did it end?
We went around, told them I'll see them in the mall. Followed and they never. I don't think they actually went into the mall. I think by the time we parked and went in, they just kind of got in the spot and left.
So Diane was with the shit that
my sister was tight. She was tight of my mom's. Why would you do that? You get out the car. You supposed to get him in. Then my homeboy that was in the back was being pure pussy. He was just like.
He's still your homeboy?
Huh? But I mean, he's just that type of person. Because when we got in the mall, walking around, yeah, man, way him there, and it was like, bro, don't do like that now. Don't act like that now when he's not here. But yeah, man, not the toughest guy in the room, but definitely not a softie.
No, for sure. You can't be pussy. I remember one time I was parking up in the city on 14th Street. We was about to go do a presentation, and this was years ago. It was probably like 7 years ago. And I parked the car. I was about to get out of the car. No, excuse me. I was getting out of the parking spot. And these three, it was like maybe like 8 p.m. or whatever. These three white dudes was like crossing the street like in front of my car, and then I could tell they were drinking, and like I'm about to come out the spot, and one of them looks at me as I'm coming out the spot, and he looks at me, he's like, "You can't afford that car, nigga." Eject off seatbelts, came off, open door, and his other two mans were like, he's sorry, he was just playing, he's sorry, he's sorry, like because the same thing too, like you don't necessarily want to get I don't know, like I've had some crazy car stories of someone thinking like, oh, Mike, what would you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's nobody just
violated. No, for real. Like I cut off a cab on Houston in Soho because he almost hit me, and I opened up my trunk and had at least a 16-inch machete in my trunk. Mm-hmm. And was banging it on his window, like that. Yo.
Yeah, I don't know. Mike got road rage, by the way.
Yo, it was not. There was a point in time as well. Thank you, Ed Blunt. Ed Blunt, I owe you, bro. I owe you a lot. Thank you for introducing me to personal development. Jesus Christ. But anyway, man, I think y'all get the point, man. Ego is something you gotta suppress. All the situations we just talked about, I was definitely driven by ego.
Could have ended up bad too.
Me pulling out that, like, no joke. It was a Saturday night on Houston and Soho. The streets was wild. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. Packed. Everyone out. What? But yeah, you gotta get all that shit out of your system probably one day. But you gotta make sure that you make the right decisions. Remove your ego, because I think your ego blocks you from, definitely getting to new levels in your life.
Clear thinking.
Yeah, clear thinking. You make better judgment that way. So I think to end off, a good example of knowing if your ego is peaking out is when you're about to make a decision and your deciding factor is what is somebody else going to think. Mm-hmm. I think that's just your ego talking. There's so many different scenarios like we just went over where, I'm getting out of the car doing dumb shit like that because I don't want somebody to think that I'm pussy. Mind you, Francesca, was the only person that was with me. So in my mind, I'm like, I can't. In my head, the world gonna think I'm pussy if I don't come out and press this nigga right here on the middle of Soho. Right. So yeah, just.
I think women have big egos like that. We got some ladies in the house. What's up?
Absolutely.
Yeah, without question. They without question. I think women make many of their decisions based on what other people think. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I gotta calm down with that shit. Yeah, y'all ruining everybody's lives.
Yeah, hey, we all have some definitely, some episodes we got some women giving their 2 cents for sure. Or five word, right?
Yeah, I have to say it, get the last word, right? I gotta give them.
Let me jump right. But yeah, with all that being said, that's it. We done. Remove your ego. Fuck what other people think, man. It's gonna be better for you, your situation. Make that decision. We out. Episode 4 done.